So this is going to be a slightly different video, no fancy slides, no fig jam boards, nothing like that. But what I will do is I'm going to try to train you on everything that I've learned when it comes to copywriting over the last 4 years, writing for 7, 8, and 9-figure brands. By the way, we're in Cape Town right now. Like this view from the office is nuts. Look at this shit. So I have a bunch of notes right here in front of me, right on my laptop, that I'm going to kind of like run through. Essentially, my goal is to help you guys understand what writing good copy actually is, rather than giving you all like a bunch of ADA frameworks, bullshit like PAPA. They're not bullshit, it's just that fundamentally, good copywriting doesn't really come down to any single individual tactics. It just comes down to 3 things, which is understanding the pain of your audience, building trust with them to give them a reason to actually believe in what you have to say, and then just presenting a solution that they can see working to solve their problem or pain. Actually, there's a 4th step. Basically, you just got to give them like a good enough reason to justify taking action right now, because most people don't really want to take action, right? Because it's uncomfortable, blah, blah. So let's dive into it. To understand someone's pain and to understand what really they want, you need to understand human psychology. So there's ultimately really 4 things that I've learned that people want over the years, and everything else can be summed up into a single one of these 4 things, or like a combination of these 4 factors, right? So the first one obviously is to like, people want to not die, right? Unless you're suicidal, it's a bit different story, but people don't want to die, right? Which means they want a healthy body to enjoy life, or they want to live longer. Something along those lines. Health is one of the biggest things that people want. The second thing people want is just like dopamine, right? Because dopamine feels good, makes us feel over the moon, and this is what core happiness really comes from. It's just like higher levels of dopamine, right? And people are able to achieve that through food, through things like experiences, through companionship with like friends, through like sex, that kind of stuff, right? The third thing that people actually want is familiarity and comfort, which is why what I said earlier, like to make a decision means to remove themselves from familiarity and comfort. So, you know, you really got to give people a good enough reason in order to actually do that. And then the last thing is people want social status, right? They want to be that guy. They want to be the it girl, right? You want to basically just feel like you're better than people. Bottom line, right? Doesn't sound very nice, but that's just human psychology. We all want to feel better in some ways. And the thing is, when it comes to social status, how people define their value hierarchy is different, right? So for example, you know, let's just talk about this in a political sense, right? People who are liberal and are activists, let's say, they seek social status through coming off like sanctimonious, like I'm morally above everyone else, right? Whereas someone like a capitalist like me, I'm better than people because of XYZ external reasons. Like I'm richer, I'm smarter, I'm more capable, I've achieved more, I have a better body, can do more in fitness, blah, blah, right? Of course, these are all external factors, and ultimately in the grand scheme of things, you kind of come to learn that they don't really matter. But from a social status perspective, you can achieve status through a myriad of ways, is what I'm really trying to ultimately communicate. Right? And everything else that people want ultimately comes down to these 4 factors directly or indirectly. Let me give you some examples. For example, if people want money, often they might have grown up not feeling too comfortable with what they saw around them. Like maybe, for example, I lived in not very nice places growing up, and now when I travel, like I'm in Cape Town, I insist on renting really nice places. Like this is a villa with 3 bedrooms, we have a pool outside, the view, as you saw earlier, was gorgeous. We have like a little driveway in a gated community, right? I insist on that. Why? Because I chase nice homes to seek social status and comfort, let's say. Or if someone chases money, they could look at someone else's social status of people who had money and was like, damn, you know, I want a piece of that. Now, another example could just be weight loss, for example, right? People don't want to lose weight because, you know, exercise and eating healthy is like the most enjoyable thing to do. Because let's be real, like unhealthy food often tastes much better, and you know, chilling at home, not doing any exercise just is more comfortable, right? But they kind of seek weight loss as a method to, let's say, not die early, right? Have the body to attract partners, look sexy, to achieve social status, that kind of stuff, right? Maybe you were diagnosed with a disease and you want the best healthcare, so you want to chase money to pay for that, to get back to a point of comfort and familiarity when it comes to your health, and rid yourself of the day-to-day pains of just having this very specific disease. Everything that we literally want, even down to things like convenience, can be explained ultimately through one of these 4 things. And to tie it back to the original point about understanding human psychology and understanding what people really want, if you just are able to reverse engineer these things and really understand it, you're going to be able to understand what is it that actually will make people want the thing that you're actually trying to sell. And then past that point, in order to reach the next stage of understanding when it comes to the audience's pains, you really need to understand like the psychology and how your target audience thinks. Think about stuff like, what's life like for them? How do they think about, let's say, political issues, if it's relevant, right? If you're selling fashion, how does their views about the world reflect the way they think? And you can draw a bunch of commonalities, right? So for example, people who love like a minimalist style when it comes to clothes probably also likes a very similar style when it comes to furniture, right? Understanding these correlations between people and their traits will really help you understand your target audience. And by understanding your target audience, you're going to be able to reverse engineer their pains. And if you understand their pains, you can come up with solutions and present it to them and make a buck, right? The reason why you really need to consider your audiences and really have a deep understanding of their psychology is because different audiences and different demographics will respond ultimately to different things. And as a copywriter, your job is to be able to adapt and speak to these people on their level. Because sometimes the same meaning, but just phrased in different ways, can resonate with very different crowds and come off very differently. Even the same words said in very specific tones can come off with entirely different meanings. So for example, right, if you're targeting, let's say, like a very affluent crowd, you need to be able to show a certain level of like respect in the copy that you write. Maybe stroke their egos a little bit to drop their guard. You know what I mean? Because these people want to feel recognized. They want to feel like their status means something when you're trying to speak to them, going back to the whole status thing again, right? Whereas if you're targeting like a more, let's say, beginner self-improvement crowd, let's say in the fitness space or in the make money online space, it doesn't really matter. Like whenever people are trying to improve themselves, that means they're not quite happy with their current existence, right? So you can come across a little bit arrogant, a little bit cocky to just, demonstrate that you've actually done the thing, you know what you're talking about, and build a bit of authority. Thing is, the most important thing when it comes to writing copy that actually sells is getting the person to actually trust the copy that they're reading. Because everyone can make a claim like, I'm gonna make you lose 5 kilos in the next 6 weeks, right? But let's say it comes from like a super fat, disgusting, out of shape guy versus like a supermodel. His body looks like he's been chiseled from like marble, right? Who are people gonna listen to? Obviously, it's gonna be the guy who's super jacked, right? They can literally tell you the same thing and you're gonna buy from the super jacked guy. Again, it's about building that authority. Let me just give you some really clear examples. So I work with this cosmetics brand that sell to older women, and let's pretend that their products are shampoo. They do about like multi-8 figures a year, tens of millions, right? And they specifically sell hair products to older women. If you were able to dig into their Facebook ad libraries and the emails that we produce for them, you'll see that most of the USPs and the language and the problems and the benefits that it's highlighting is optimized around more mature women. Rather than having messages like, cure your split ends, have like a luscious full head of hair like Taylor Swift. I don't know why I said like that was the first example. Instead of having the messaging like that and trying to achieve like a standard of beauty for like a 20-something-year-old girl, instead we really dig deep into thinking about like what are these more mature women potentially going through, right? And they a lot of the time will have much bigger problems to deal with than like split ends and like mildly damaged hair, right? They might be dealing with things like postpartum hair loss. They might be dealing with, they just came out a recent round of chemotherapy and a lot of their hair has fallen out. So they really need to care for their scalp in order to regrow their hair. Maybe it's that most of their hair are starting to gray and they really want to restore the natural color to, just shave off 10 years from their appearance. They're not trying to look like a sexy supermodel that's like 23 years old, right? They're just trying to look 10 years better, like they were in their early 30s. 20s despite being like mid-40s, let's say. Maybe it's them trying to heal like damaged hair from like years of bleaching it. You get what I mean, right? So by speaking and appealing to these types of problems, or just using language around, let's say, postpartum hair loss, you can appeal to a very different demographic and just build up a lot more trust with those individuals. Once you understand your actual target demographic, here's where you can really start to nail the pain and drive it home, right? Yeah, they might be suffering some hair loss, for example, but what does that actually mean? Right? It could mean that there's like judgment from the outside world because people are noticing like their alopecia spots, because that's like the first thing people notice as soon as you make conversation with someone. Or let's say you're selling skincare targeting acne prone individuals, right? Acne is a horrible thing to have. Like as soon as you see someone, the first thing you probably notice is like their skin quality, right? For example. And you can tell, like you can say, oh boy, and that's like not a nice thing to point out. Truth is, look, if someone has a face covered in acne, I notice it, right? Do I judge them for it? Not really, but like, I still notice it. It's not like a good thing to have, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look amazing. Like, it doesn't comply with standard beauty metrics, let's say, right? So once you understand the actual customer demographic, you can start really nailing their pain. And you can kind of notice this just, you don't even need to really a lot of the time like trawl through forums and stuff. If you just have a fundamental understanding of the problem that you're solving, you already know what the pains are, because you should be developing products with pain in mind, right? And the thing is, when you're trying to make big claims, people are by default distrusting of them. So if you don't build enough trust and authority prior to you trying to nail their pain, they're going to dismiss you anyways, right? And the thing is, when you highlight their pains, they feel understood. And trust me, I'm going to get to why that's super important in a second. But just to, give you a real world example of this, I have a few friends selling products in like the weight loss space, for example, right? And recently, over the decades and decades of just the weight loss space being in existence, people have developed an incredible distrust of the weight loss space, right? Because they know that miracle pills don't exist, and people know that, calorie in, calorie out, that's literally like laws of thermodynamics, that's how you lose weight. But every once in a while, like, this magical miracle pops up again and everyone hops on this trend. Now, how do these trends get created? Well, recently, one of my friends who does quite a few million a year with this product, he told me that he uses like 30 to 40 minute VSLs as like ads on Facebook. His cost per click is through the roof, but he's getting really qualified traffic, because what he's essentially doing is he's using like a super long form ad in order to just like build enough trust in this new thing, this new miracle thing that actually solves the problem, builds the belief before actually adding any type of CTA and introducing the product. Because naturally, people in the weight loss space are super skeptical of miracles. So depending on the niche that you're trying to sell to, you need a different degree of trust, let's say, right? So let's talk about what is the underlying things that actually make people trust you. Well, it really just comes down to like 5 factors when it comes to your copywriting. Number 1, you need to understand their pain, right? Because that makes them feel heard. Because there's nothing worse than trying to tell people, hey, here's what you need, when they feel like, bro, like, you don't even know the context of my situation. I'm special, right? In reality, no, you're not special. You're dealing with the same problems as literally like millions of others. This is a solution. But you need to make them feel heard first before they can trust you enough to actually make a decision based on your advice. See what I mean? Second thing is, you really need to validate someone's emotions, right? Because buying is half logic, half emotion. And in order for someone to be emotionally sold on your product, they need to be first emotionally validated, right? If they're feeling like shit because of, let's say, their financial situation, right? You telling them that it's going to be fine kind of completely goes against what they're feeling, right? Instead, you could say something like, yeah, bro, like, I totally understand the struggles. I was kind of like in your position maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, man, like, it really sucks, right? Like, really, obviously that was a terrible example, but really making them feel like their feelings are valid helps them to kind of drop their guard. And obviously you can do that through copy as well, right? Another factor is having a lot of social proof, because past a certain point of like social proof, if you can show people that your solution has worked enough times, it just becomes really unreasonable for people to doubt you, right? So in the world of e-commerce, let's say, it used to be that if you just got like a celebrity to endorse your product, people trusted the celebrity and they would, as a result, buy your product. But over time, people started to catch on that, oh shit, like these celebrities all just paid massive amounts of money in order to endorse these shitty products, right? So up comes along user-generated content to make it seem real, right? And now the thing is, ugly UGC works much better than, UGC with like really beautiful creators that are highly produced, right? Because it went from traditional celebrities and TV to influencers, and now it's just like anyone with a phone can build more trust than a lot of the influencers, right? Because you need to create believability that your product also works. So the type of social proof that you reference in your copy needs to be believable, right? So let's say you put like a testimonial in a piece of email copy. If you back that by like a user-generated selfie, it works a lot better. Why? Because it's like this review came from Susan, this individual, Susan 34 from like Michigan. People just believe it more. Another example is like my agency. It's super easy for me to sell my services because people just trust me when it comes to email marketing now, because I can say, hey, look, these are the brands that we've worked with. You've probably watched 10 of my YouTube tutorials already. So, you know already that I know what I'm talking about. I can show you like hundreds of, and actually thousands of campaigns that we've produced over the years. So we have enough social proof. You see what I mean? Then it just becomes unreasonable for people to doubt that I can produce the results that I'm claiming because I can just show them, right? The fourth factor of why people can trust you is if you can show some sort of demonstration of value or like, wow. That's why if you think back to it, like the late night teleshopping shows, right? They would sell mops, bro. Like they would literally sell a mop, spill some ketchup on the floor, use the mop, go choo, and then show one side of the floor versus the other side of the floor. That's a wow or like a crazy value demonstration, right? In the case of your copy, you can also do this, right? You can tell stories to demonstrate the value. You can use images and some sort of transformation or value demonstration by showing things even like before and afters and that kind of stuff. And the last factor is others influence, others trust, right? How do you leverage that? You can use an influencer and do a collaboration, right? You can hire celebrities or key opinion leaders in your space to endorse your product. That's another way of doing it. And then you can feature that in the copy in which you produce for the brand on the landing page, on the ads, whatever. More important than that though, sometimes is just removing things that make people distrust you. So outside of those 5 factors, if you could just eliminate just these like red flags, that would go a long way in terms of building trust. And there's not really like a specific list of things that makes people distrust you. The biggest thing is honestly just when things don't quite add up to what they seem. For example, I can think of several examples that really cause stuff like this. It's like if your ad angles are out of sync with your landing pages and email marketing, let's say. Like at top of funnel, you're using this angle to advertise, let's say like this type of water, right? Let's call this hydrogen water because this is a product that's like popping right now, right? Like hydrogen water, like, oh, make yourself healthy, extend your life type of shit. So hydrogen water right now is a trending product and, people are making millions with it. And let's say your ad angle is like, you're using clips from Joe Rogan, Gary Brecker saying, oh yeah, like hydrogen water is the next big thing. It's going to make you so healthy, blah, 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 right? But then on your landing page, all your claims are about like fat loss and fitness. So when people clicked on your ad, they had the intention of, oh, I trust Gary Brecker and Joe Rogan to recommend health products. And then as soon as you land on the page, instead of being presented with copy around longevity and that kind of stuff, you're presented with copy around like fat loss, right? Bullshit. People are going to instantly distrust you because you served them something like that clash that like logically is just not making sense, right? Or if you're making claims, but let's say at top of funnel ads, you're using Joe Rogan and Gary Brecker, but then you never mention them again ever in your email marketing landing pages and that kind of stuff, triggers a red flag, right? Or things like having, 5,000 5-star reviews on your product pages, but your Trustpilot is just absolutely fucking destroyed, right? Because you can't moderate Trustpilot. That's going to create indiscrepancies in people's heads and prevent them from actually making a purchase. So when it comes to copywriting, you really got to handle that. Another thing is, for example, if your ad copy is great and your ads are sick, but then you don't moderate the comment sections of your ads and everyone's just, commenting, oh, you guys scammed me, blah, blah, my product never came, it didn't match the description, blah, 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 like the packaging was broken, yada, yada, yada. People are going to not trust you to buy from you. And the last thing that creates a lot of distrust is when kind of like the packaging and the positioning around how you sell doesn't line up to the level of authority that you're trying to build, right? So for example, if I was homeless trying to give you copywriting advice, you probably wouldn't listen to me, right? Because I'm on the streets, I'm dressed like a bum and, like holding a beer, right? You probably wouldn't listen to me. But because I'm in a nice villa, there's a nice view, and you can see like I have a decent life, you're like, okay, at least this guy financially somewhat perhaps knows what he's talking about. It's not like, it doesn't trigger any red flags, right? It's kind of like if I was fat trying to sell you weight loss, put it simply. If you understand everything that I just said and know how to implement that on a day-to-day basis, it's super easy to just get people to like give their trust to you. And now comes the fun part, right? The closing aspect, how to make people to actually spend money with you. At this point, you've convinced people that, they can trust you and that you really understand their pain. Naturally, they're also going to trust you enough to actually hear your solution to their problems. So when it comes to presenting them the solution, it's actually a very similar process to building trust. You need to make the solution relevant, believable, and also prevent any red flags coming up. For example, going back to the whole weight loss space, because it's just so easy to give examples of that because everyone understands that pain. Because people have been burnt by so many like miracle pills, fat burning drinks, blah, blah, blah. Even if you build up enough trust, as soon as you try to sell them another pill, all of that trust might get thrown out the window because the medium of the solution and the way in which you presented the solution is completely wrong. So, for example, right, just by changing the medium, you can drastically affect conversion rates. An example of this would be like, if you're selling like a weight loss product, rather than delivering the weight loss cure through a pill form, because people, let's say, don't trust pills, if you just say, hey, this is an injection, same chemical, just delivered in a slightly different way, will drastically change the perception people have around the believability of your product. Because let's say they see weight loss as this like big problem, they've been sold all of these pills, but an injection sounds way more potent, way more powerful, way more new, way more like medical, right? That they might just believe that it works. So closing the deal a lot of the time has a lot more to do with the product development and just how you package a solution rather than the language that you use itself. And once you figure out what the solution that is ideal to kind of present to the customer is, you really just got to figure out how to give them a good enough reason for them to act right now. Right? Which is basically objection handling. And you can do this very easily through like copywriting, whether it be through like FAQs or just like how you structure the copy overall when you're building trust. But ultimately, what objection handling really is just getting people to make a decision, getting them enough information so that they can make an informed decision. And the problem with getting people to make a decision is that decision making brings people out of their comfort zone. This is like absolute guaranteed. When was the last time you committed to something and didn't feel a little bit uncomfortable? It's all the time, right? So rather than thinking about it from like an objection handling standpoint, think about it as if you're trying to create enough discomfort so that the discomfort in making a decision is superseded by the discomfort of not making a decision. And you can kind of do this through tactics like urgency, scarcity, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, what these tactics all allude to is creating a sense and a perception of opportunity cost. Like, if you don't act now, the offer is going to expire. Or if you don't act now, we might run out of stock, scarcity. Or if you don't act now, the ideal market conditions are not going to be there anymore, so you should buy now. A real life example of this would be something like weight loss, right? Everybody knows that in January, everyone sets a goal of losing XYZ pounds throughout the year, but how many people follow through? Which is why they came up with that whole study thing of like, oh, people who start on their New Year's resolutions in December have a 86% chance, more likelihood of succeeding. Do they really? I have no idea. Does anyone know about the studies? I don't know. I didn't try to seek it out. I didn't validate the information. It could just be a whole plot to just be like, yeah, like this is why you should buy a fitness product in December. Ta-da! Like, You know? So creating this sense of opportunity cost or urgency and scarcity will really help you give people a good enough reason to start acting and make a decision right now. And once you have that, you make the sale, right? So please, please, please watch this video, understand it, watch it back if you need to, because honestly, I've written hundreds, if not over 1,000 emails over the years for e-commerce brands. I've generated like easily over $30 million for my clients, and I stopped tracking basically through my copy and through the email and SMS marketing that I've done. And if you literally just understand what I told you in this video, putting together the words is the easiest part and the easiest thing to do in the world, because it's not like when you're studying English literature where you have to write in complex sentence structures. If you just understand what you need to communicate, putting together the sentences is super easy. So if you found this video useful, let me know in the comments and I'll make more like long form talking style videos. And if you're a brand doing 7 figures, check out my agency website, first link in the description, and book in a call, because I'd actually love to get my team on your email marketing potentially. And worst case, I'll just do like a free audit for you guys and give you a ton of value up front anyway. So yeah, see you guys in the next video.